In this video, I'm going to talk about outsourcing. Now, outsourcing is something that I've discussed in a couple of videos, potentially before, at least fleetingly anyway, and how it can fit into your business. And specifically, as a voiceover artist, I found a number of opportunities where outsourcing can really be useful. But I thought it would be good to kind of very self-consciously kind of go through what your process of decision-making should be to get to answer the question about should I actually outsource this or should I not? And this is because it's a thing that I've been undergoing again recently, because I've decided that there's more of my business that I can outsource than I originally thought when I started out. I'm not going to go into specific details yet, though. But maybe there's a great reveal, like it's actually an AI algorithm that does all of my voiceover from now on. That might be for a later video, but spoilers, it's not that. However, in terms of kind of like working out what could be a useful aspect, I think it's really good to take an itinerary of what your entire week is in voiceover as a standard typical week. And to literally mark it out in terms of, okay, so what am I doing? Am I doing marketing here? And what does that involve? Is it content creation? You know, is it blog writing, blah, 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 the whole recording side of thing, and then specific administration stuff as well. And be specific about what, are we talking invoicing? Are we talking writing particular briefs, etc., etc., etc.? Is it updating your website? And then it's kind of working out from there, what are the aspects that you wish you had more time to spend on, for what reasons? So especially when starting out as a small business, as a voiceover artist, you will need as much time as possible spent on marketing as you possibly can. That's obviously going to be a place to start. You will want to spend more time doing recording, but that's a different thing. And then it's kind of like identifying how is it essential for each one of these tasks that you are the person that's doing it. So, for example, if I want more time to do my marketing, because marketing is something that I essentially need to do because it's me reaching out personally and, addressing people and their problems and complementing their work in a specific personalized way and introducing myself as a brand, as a solution to their problems. So that requires a certain amount of personality and communication skills. So I need to be essentially involved in my outreach, you've decided. Okay, well, if I want to be doing more of that, then do I essentially need to be the person who's doing all of my lead generation, which is the obvious one? Or lead generation is purely in terms of information. So as long as you go about it in the right way, by being very, very specific about what you're looking for, where you're looking for it, what's exactly the information that you want, and where can you get it from, is that something that you could outsource? Because yes, I mean, if you did it purely yourself, the lead generation, you might be more discerning, being a voiceover who knows where your strengths and weaknesses lie and that kind of stuff. But you could very easily hire someone with a very specific brief for lead generation and be able to give them that task, and they could be able to do 10 hours or 5 hours a week, much more, which you would then be able to free up for your own marketing efforts, which is to do with the actual communication of the emails. The same thing goes for invoicing potentially, or tax generally speaking anyway. The first bit of technical outsourcing that I did for my business was getting an accountant, because the whole prospect of tax always terrified me. Starting out as an actor who barely had any money whatsoever in the first place, I was like, oh, it's fine, I'll hardly ever pay any tax anyway until I retire, and I will never retire because I will always need to be on the stage. But now, having hit the age of almost 40 and realised that I do actually have an income which is relatively consistent, touch wood, I need to have someone who's dealing with the realities of that, of national insurance and all of this kind of thing, very responsibly and professionally. So I give that to an accountant to do. And yes, all I have to do is essentially take pictures of all of my receipts. My accountant set me up for all of that. And yes, I still have like half a day where I need to tie certain things together. But most of the time, it's not a huge kind of factor that I need to do. So I would say it's always really good to to take that itinerary, look at your kind of typical week in terms of the time you're actually spending on certain tasks, and actually ask yourself, are any of these tasks things that someone else could do? And then identify those tasks which you want to be spending more time on. And I mean, not in terms of the voiceovering, obviously you want that, but in terms of your means of getting the voiceovering, or more work generally speaking, which is going to be the marketing aspect of it. Go and then kind of make a decision about like, okay, so is it worth trading off paying someone to do that more mechanical task so that you have more time to do the marketing task? Obviously, there are going to be different solutions for different people, and it will depend on, some people want to be very hands-on and very private about their finances, for example. So there's no one-size-fits-all solution. But it's really useful to kind of start that process and also have a look at the various different, virtual assistants that are out there if you want to go that route. Yes, you've got those people on Fiverr or Upwork or People Per Hour who, may be based in a completely different country, and therefore their hourly rate is pretty comparatively low. For certain tasks, that may be completely viable and actually incredibly beneficial. But there may also be an argument for virtual assistants, VAs, for certain roles where you need to have that really great level of communication, or maybe there's a VA out there that can offer a very specific skill set that you, as your business, needs as well. And the other thing that I'm a big proponent of is that not exactly when everybody else is zigging zag, but to take any inspiration outside of your own industry and bring it into your business. So don't always do just what all the other voiceover artists are doing, myself included, but maybe kind of think about like, is like having a VA who has an insight from a particular background that isn't voiceover related. Could that add value to your business? This is just food for thought, but all of these rambling videos are essentially that I'm just kind of going through the process of what I'm going through and trying to share some knowledge in that respect. Anyway, hope you found this video of some use. If so, please do like, please do subscribe if this is on YouTube that you're seeing this. Please do comment if you have anything else to add to the conversation. Thank you so much for watching as ever, and I look forward to seeing you next time.